What can I tell you? Traffic noise. It's actually not that complicated and not that difficult to soundproof. The one thing, however, is don't start with soundproofing the wall. If you start by putting a lot of money in soundproofing the wall because of traffic noise, you might be very disappointed. The thing that you should start with is the window. That's where you need to start because most of the time, 95% of the time, the noise from outside is coming in right through your window, especially if you have a single pane window. It's pretty easy to tell. If you go to the window and you just tap on it and it feels really thin, most likely it's a single pane window and most of the noise is coming in right through that window. But hopefully, if you have a double or triple pane window, most of the noise is not coming through the glass. But if you have a single pane window and you don't want to make any alterations, you don't own the property perhaps, you are renting, one thing that you can do to stop a lot of the noise from coming in is something that I tested a couple of years ago. It's called a window insert. So basically what it is, it's clear and you attach it on the window frame. It's custom made. It is a little bit pricey because it is custom made, but if you have a standard size window, it will be a little bit cheaper and it's easier to bring with you if you move out. One thing that showed in the testing is it worked very well, surprisingly well, on a single pane, very thin window. However, if you would try it on a double or triple pane window, the amount of noise that the window insert was blocking was almost not noticeable. So most of the noise, if it's coming through the window, then a window insert is going to work very well. But if you already have a double or triple pane window, then it's not something that I would recommend. Another thing, if you have a single pane window and you own the property and you don't mind making alterations, you should go and change that window to a double or even better yet, a triple pane window. But the biggest difference in soundproofing will be between a single and a double pane window. Between a double and a triple pane window, the difference is not as noticeable. So if you want the biggest difference at the best cost, it's a double pane window. But if you have a lower budget and you can't make alterations and you have a window that actually blocks enough noise, then you can go and get some sound deadening curtains. Sound deadening curtains, they are, yes, more of a noise absorber than a sound blocker. But for something like traffic noise, something that also has a vibrational noise coming through the wall, through the window, these type of curtains will help block or absorb some of those vibrations, some of those lower frequency noise. That's what these curtains will help with. Now, these types of curtains are also called blackout curtains. Now, the way they work is that they have 3 layers. Both outside layers are the material of the curtain, and the middle is a black felt that blocks the sunlight from coming in, but these 3 layers combined actually blocks a little bit of noise also from coming in from outside. It's not going to do miracles, but if you can't make alterations and you're looking for a cheap, effective way to block a little bit of noise coming in, then sound deadening or blackout curtains might be the answer for you. If you also have an older window and if you look around your window and you see cracks around the window frame, then you should seal all those gaps or cracks up because they say just a simple crack can let about 50% of the noise back into a room. Of course, it's not going to be as dramatic in this case, but just think of an airport hotel. You're looking through the glass door and you barely hear anything, but you just open the sliding glass door just a crack and all of that noise is blasting into the room. That's what I mean by just a little bit of a crack on a door that is almost completely soundproof will make a huge difference. In this case, adding something called acoustical sealant to seal all those gaps and cracks will help stop that noise from coming in. Acoustical sealant is a little bit different than caulking, your regular caulking. The most important thing is that it stays rubbery over time, it doesn't crack, so it doesn't let noise into the room in the future. That's one benefit of that type of acoustical sealant. Another place that you can add that sealant is under the baseboard. Pop the baseboard out and in between the floor and the drywall, there might be a crack that you'd want to seal. Any gaps and cracks going from your room to the outside wall will let noise in. So sealing everything up, these are ways that are inexpensive and something that you can do on your own, and you might see enough improvement that you're actually satisfied with the noise reduction. After you're done sealing the crack at the bottom of the wall, you can move right to the electrical outlet. If you pop the cover open, now make sure to shut the breaker off for that electrical outlet just in case. There is a crack now between the electrical outlet box and the drywall. You can use the acoustical sealant to also cover that gap. Another thing is if you have access to behind that electrical outlet, if you're lucky enough that the wall is actually open, you can add something called putty pad to cover that entire box, because that small electrical outlet box does let noise in because of all the holes in that box. Using putty pad will cover all those holes. This type of material was initially for fire prevention. If there's a little spark, something that starts in the electrical outlet box, then this would kind of stop it for a little while. And this will also help block noise from coming through. I actually did a sound test on the putty pad if your wall is open and you can use it, or you're just curious for another part of your house. Video right there will show you my sound test of before and after adding the putty pad. So it was quite interesting, the results. But you most likely can't add putty pad because you have a solid wall. So acoustical sealant is about all you can do. Now, if you want to go a step even further regarding the window, if you work night shift and you have to sleep during the day, you can actually build a DIY window plug that's not that complicated to build and also not that expensive to build. I've built one myself and they work quite well. So if you are wanting to completely block that window for a short period of time, then a window plug is a way to go because you're not altering anything. It's good if you're renting and you just want a simple solution that is a lot cheaper than a window insert. And that also works better than a window insert. Now, let's go outside. If you're not renting, if you're owning the property and you can actually build a fence between the wall and the traffic noise that's coming through, building a fence, a solid fence, of course not a chain link fence, but a solid fence at least 8 feet tall will help a lot in blocking that noise from coming into your home, more so than actually soundproofing that wall. Now you can also add something called mass-loaded vinyl on your side of the fence, cover the entire fence with this stuff, and you'll notice a difference. This comes in a roll, it's heavy, it's a rubber-like material, and it helps to not only block noise, but also absorb noise. Now I'll have more ideas on how to soundproof your backyard for traffic noise in a future video, so make sure you subscribe to not miss that one. Now, let's go back inside. You've taken care of the window, but you hear the traffic noise still. Now it's time to look at the wall. What can you do? Well, the easiest, most effective thing that you can do right now is to just add mass. To just add another layer of drywall. 5/8 of an inch of drywall is what I would recommend because it is thicker than your standard 1/2 inch drywall. It'll help block more noise, and to cover that wall, it's not going to be terribly expensive to do so. One thing that you can add in between the 2 layers of drywall that will help a lot in blocking that noise is the mass-loaded vinyl. One thing that's good with this type of material is that it's not only a noise blocker, but a noise absorber because of the type of rubbery material that it is. And since traffic noise is a lower frequency noise that creates vibration, then that mass-loaded vinyl is going to help in reducing that vibrational noise from coming into your home. But if you want to know different ways on how to soundproof a room and keep it under budget, video right there will show you how. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, assuming you subscribed.